Alright, there we are. I should be online. Yes. Alright, hello everyone. Well, I'm alone, but today I wanted to make this stream because I wanted to record and show people, if anyone is interested in, what are my advancement in the mangaka development, and also my advancement in my manga, what I've been doing and why it has taken so long to, to release chapter 2. So chapter 2. So let's start. Well, let me check if it's okay. You can hear me. So let's start with what I've been doing with Mangaka. So basically now I'm working on, why doesn't it? Here it is. Okay, yeah. Basically, I've been working on version 3.0, and this version main feature are layers. So what are layers supposed to be? A lot of people have asked me how can they take an object and draw it differently from every other object. And I didn't have a solution for that because, well, original mangaka should take the scene as a whole and draw it like on its entirety. Like, you cannot isolate an object. You can isolate nature assets, but that's it. It's just a single view layer, and everything else gets drawn on its entirety. So I wanted to give people using my add-on more freedom, more artistic freedom, and this is basically what I came up with, and I think it's a good solution between the compromises of how Blender works, like how the compositor works, the resources it takes to draw, and how Blender basically works. So I had to work with Blender's already existing features. I couldn't create my own features, so I had to work with Blender features, and basically this is the best I could figure out how I could make it work. So here is the new Mangaka UI. It's still a work in progress, so there are a lot of configuration lacking here that I didn't program yet. And we have, let's start by the very beginning by removing everything. Sorry, well, mistakes and errors are supposed to happen during development, so that you won't be seeing that kind of things on the final product. But let's start by the beginning. So if you have a compositor scene, you will see something like this, like really basic without anything in it. And what I want, well, everything works just like the original mangaka in the very first steps. So we hit the draw button, but we will be received with a confirmation screen. And in this confirmation screen, you will see a couple of new things, sorry. First is this warning that says do not change the name of objects in the MGK asset collection. We'll talk about that later, but for now don't worry about that. You can now enter the name of the layers. The first layer is always going to be the base. What does that mean? Well, let's put base as the name. You can put whatever you want, but I will put base. And as you can see, we have the first layer, base. It has a triangular visibility button. I will talk about everything this about about this, but for now, just know that this is a layer and it's the base layer. So, as you can see, we have the node group, the original Mangaka had, with the edges and all of this. This is a placeholder, by the way. As you can see, the image output is connected to the seed input, and that's wrong, but don't worry about that. This is just a placeholder for now until I finish the node group that I want to create. But yes, we will have this node group and this view layer, this render layer node, and this is going to be our base, basically. But now, instead of having just one layer or one way to draw objects, we can now add new layers. So let's add a layer and call it cars, for example. We want to draw cars differently, and a new layer is created. Sorry. A couple of things happens when a new layer is created. As you can see, a couple of nodes have been created here, and I don't know why this is so discombobulated, but it should look something like this if you do it on your own. Okay. So you can already see, basically the layer separation works via Cryptomate. So how does this exactly work? Well, if you have an asset, an object, and you want to separate it from all the other objects in how Mangaka will draw it, you take it from the outliner and you drop it inside this empty inside the Mangaka asset collection. So Mangaka will generate a couple of empties, for every layer you have, so you can drop your objects inside. And as you can see, we didn't remove the objects from the original collection. I don't know. Well, we just told Mangaka that this object inside this collection belongs to this layer, that is cars, the cars layer. So we can now, well, I won't render anything because you won't see anything since this is a placeholder, but you can see we have a layer, and this Cryptomate will make sure that only the affected objects get drawn in a different way. So we can add more layers like people or characters. Let's say, I don't know, buildings, nature, and as you can see, we are generating different layers, and different empties are getting generated in the liner, to which you can drop your objects, and you will tell in Mangaka that this object will be drawn with the configurations of this layer. So now, how do we configure each layer to draw differently? Well, you go to configuration and you will see an enumerator in which you can select all your different layers. So characters, buildings, nature, cars, and so on and so on. And each of these will have its own unique configuration. For example, let's say, I will talk about this later, but you can select the type of lines you want to draw. For example, let's choose advanced for cars. Let's choose, the edge node for buildings, and for nature, let's get the basic one. And as you can see, it gets saved, so you won't be losing any configuration when you change your layers. And as you can see here, I added a blend type selector here, in which you can control the blending that happens between layers. So basically, well, this is really messy. Basically, every layer is going to be drawn on top of the previous one. So characters are going to be drawn on top of cars, and cars is going to be drawn in top of the base. What you can do is to select if you're going to multiply cars over base, or going to mix it, or going to add it, or darken, or whatever you want to do actually. So you can choose how layers are going to be mixed, exactly like in Photoshop, except that this one are the opposite way around. And you can choose to disable some layers. For example, with this button right here, you can disable the layer, and if you can see right here, the cars layer gets muted, and the base layer pass through this mix node. So if you do this, these buttons should get gray, but they don't do it. I don't know why, but I will check later. And with this button right here, you can, if the alpha channel is giving you problems, you can just click this and Blender will use the alpha channel differently. I don't know exactly how that works, but it solves some problems I had with the alpha channels. What else? Well, the tones, I had a hard time working with the tones because on one hand, I wanted the whole scene to be using the same tones and the same configuration, but I thought that maybe some people wanted the tones to look differently in different objects, or use different tones on different materials. So what I did is more of a kind of a compromise in which every layer has its own tone configuration. Like you can select a screen tone for this one, you can select RGB for this one, and so on and so on. But you also have an option or a button to apply all this configuration, this particular configuration, to all the other layers. So every layer will be drawn, or will be a screen tone the same. But still you have the freedom to go to a particular layer, and even if you apply, well, it doesn't work to the button, but it will work. And if you apply to all, and you want the nature to be differently, you can still go to nature and change it again to screen tone or to custom, and do whatever you want. So I think that's almost all of it. And well, you will have a Cryptomate node also for the different layers, and as you can see, it is based on okay. It should be on crypto assets, so I will change that. Anyways, here it should be a Mangaka crypto assets. Well, I will change that, but you will basically, you know, it works with Cryptomate and assets, so that's why the layers are controlled with the empties. And well, you can reset Mangaka to start again. Let's say you messed up and you didn't want to separate things so radically, so let's start again. The base, we could call it, I don't know, reset. So you can change the name of the base, and let's start again with let's say just nature, and I don't know, organic objects, and that's it. And also you can remove everything, and well, it gives an error, but don't worry, everything gets removed. So that's basically all I've been doing with Mangaka 3.0. Compared to Mangaka 2, is a really big update, and I think it will be really good for artists to have control over their artwork, let's say. And it will be useful for me too, since I've been working on a manga myself that I'm going to show you right now what I'm doing exactly. So I've been working on chapter 2 of my manga called The Mariana Moreno, and it's been taking me quite a long time since I have a lot of responsibilities myself. I show you page 1. Yes. Well. Here it is. Okay. So as you can see, it's going well. Drawing is going well also. I have to put the bubbles and the backgrounds on some pages, like this one has no background, but that's almost all I had to do. I maybe finish this chapter for this weekend and upload it. And yeah, so Mangaka, sorry, the Mariana Moreno chapter 2 may be released this weekend if I be able to do it. And that's almost all I had to show. I don't know if I could draw something. I've been working on the last page because I haven't finished drawing everything yet. What I may show you how I work with backgrounds. Maybe interesting to you to see how backgrounds are made with Mangaka. So why don't I do that? So let's open the file. Close this. So as you can see, this is the background of this particular chapter. This is a scene, and I will start by going to the frame that corresponds to the frame I'm working on. So let's see. This one is frame 5. So let's go to frame 5 here. And as you can see, this is basically like an animation, which I'm setting up all the frames like I was drawing the, how do you say that word, layout? No, it's the draft. So this is basically my draft here, but instead of drawing it, I do it in Blender. And what this is, yes, 5. Okay, so I have this scene configured. Let's see if everything is alright. The characters are doing their thing, and I think this should be, no, this should be nib. wait for it to compile. It will take a while. So we should check also that the resolution of the picture is the one that is stated here. This in here, sorry. Oh, yeah, this. Okay, so let's go to Blender. I go to resolution and put the resolution this frame is going to be rendered at. Okay, let's do it a little bit bigger just in case. So, yes, the characters are there. It shouldn't be rendered, I think. Let's see. Characters not rendered this one. Okay. And there. Does this is in black something? I don't think so. Okay, let's render. Once we render here, and first I'm going to render this at 25% resolution so I can get a quick preview. Oh, sorry, I turned off the compositing. So let's render again. And it's taking a while since I'm also streaming, so okay, I think this is too dark, but render really small, so we're going to go 75%. Okay, I think it's a little bit too dark in comparison with the previous page. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, this is way too dark though. So let's go to here. And let's start tweaking Mangaka so we can get the desired result. So let's start by blowing up in the brightness a little bit better. Yes, let's go with, looks fine to me actually. This may be good enough. Well, let's try it. I can only know by putting it in the Manga. So let's render it full size. I think it's rendering with my CPU right now since I'm on the second monitor, so I may have to change the position of Windows. Excuse me. I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to send OBS to the second monitor. That's perfect. And I'm going to put Medibang also in the second monitor. So good. That's it. So now it should be rendered with my GPU instead of my CPU. I think this is way too dark, but the problem is the normals, not the Mangaka itself. So yes, let's go with 0.1. Let's render again. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. Maybe I should add a light inside of this cabinet since it's way too dark. So let's go here. Where is my add light area? Let's go. Yes, should be doing this here. This is more like a trick or like cheating ambient occlusion inside this cabinet. Okay, here. But let's lower this one. Yes, okay. But let's remove shadows. Yes, perfect. And let's lower it a little bit more, like that. Okay, perfect. Let's reduce it so it fits the cabinet alone. And I think that is about right. Let's see. Yeah. If I had Mangaka 3.0, I could, I don't know, change the way these cabinets are drawn so I can get a little bit of a better result with these ones. And also the floor should be drawn differently, I think. But everything else seems alright. But this door will need a little bit of cleanup. Yes. Well, let's see this. Oh yes, this thermo is like really dark. So let's go here to shading, and we have. Why did he do that? I wonder. Oh, I see. No. Let's go up with this color. And let's go down with this one. Let's go. Sorry. That's about. Yes, perfect. So I think that's it. Look how good this looks, actually. That's a good cheat, I think. So now we save it, wherever you want to save it. And saving it on the folder I have prepared for this, a background folder. So let's go 05 PNG with RGBA, so I get these alphas, and I can put a sky over here, for example, if I wanted to. So now let's go to Medibank. Let's put it here, and let's import the picture we just did. So here, backgrounds, chapter 2, 0.5. Okay, I'm gonna go to the background folders here and add the background, and that's about right. Yes, here I think. Maybe. Okay, let's check with the background. Oh, what? What? Okay, here. So now we align the preview with the background. And that's it. Background ready. I have to add some shadows here for this character and put some white outlines around some other characters, like this one. I should add this so I can get a better contrast between the character at the background. But I think that's it. This is how we see a background that's made with Manga, basically. So I should do the render again since I'm seeing this gray thing. I don't like it. This happens because I use an odd number as the resolution. It should always be even. This is a Blender quirk. I don't know why it does that, but you add an odd number in the resolution, it will make that happen. This weird shifting of the tones. And there is a problem because it may tone down your scene and make it look a little bit brighter than what it actually is. So let's import the new render. Also look how quickly I'm fixing problems like this one. Just in a matter of seconds I'm already with the problem solved. I don't have to draw again nothing and do stuff to it. And if I wanted to change an object, I could just change it and re-render and it will be fine. No need to redraw again or ask for an assistant to do extra work. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Let's delete this. Let's quit this and that's it. Problem fixed. Now you can see it is crisp again because I used the odd number resolution for this render. I don't know why Blender does that, but it does it. So it is what it is, and I think it looks great. So, well, yes, basically that's everything I wanted to show you. So I'm going to keep working on the backgrounds for this page and let's see how that turns out. So I'm going to stop talking and maybe I will say goodbye at the end of the transmission. Sorry I didn't show you the final. So dumb, sorry. Do you see how it looks?